Hello everyone and welcome back to JB's Total Gaming. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Enter the Gungeon. So what is this game other than a game that has an awesome intro song? Well, it is a roguelite game where you're going to be going around randomly generated dungeons, probably dying, trying to see how far you can get, unlocking more stuff as you go. So this is a game that is very similar to Binding of Isaac or Nuclear Throne. If you haven't played those games, well, you'll be able to see kind of how it works. These are the characters. I don't know if there are other characters that you can get that will unlock, but basically you're going to start with a different starting weapon and different abilities. So the Marine has the most health. We're going to go with him because I am terrible at this game. If you feel the need to point out how terrible I am in the comments, I guess you can do that, but I am here trying to provide consumer-friendly advice for people and to show off games to them, not necessarily to play it well. So, going into the dungeon, everything is gun-themed, as we can see with these kind of Imperial Guard, large caliber bullets, I don't know. A lot of enemies can be bullet-themed and things like that. However, as you play through the game and see more stuff, there's actually a surprising amount of enemy variety despite that theme running through everything. So another nice thing is anytime you get a gun, and a lot of the cool things you're going to come across are cool guns. There are other items in the game, though. Anytime you come across something, you can go into here and see what all these things do as you get stuff. So when you get an item, you'll be able to know what it does. You don't have to wonder about it like in some other games. So these are kind of the passive and active abilities this character has. This is our starting gun. So let's go ahead and go in and show off a little bit. Because this game is a little bit more bullet hell-like, though, I will say there's a couple things they added. They added the dodge roll. You're invulnerable until you hit the ground. And as you can see, all the gun themes up here with our hearts. There are these things called blanks that allow you to clear the screen of projectiles, which can be important. So even though this game, you might say, oh, well, why does it have all this stuff that would make it easier? And you might see these first few enemies and think this game is super easy. Trust me, it's not. I've seen people who played Isaac a lot play this, and, you know, obviously they're better than me, but it doesn't mean they're just going to roll through the game, because it is pretty tough. Another thing, you can do things like flip over tables and use them as cover. They are destructible, so as, you know, enemies shoot through or whatever, it will eventually be destroyed, but it is a neat little thing. Also, enemies will do that to you. Another fantastic thing about the game, some rooms, when you clear them, they'll have this teleport thing. At any point, you can hit the map and teleport to any room that you have cleared and unlock the teleporter. That is fantastic. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. Here's Nabs the Blook, I like to call him. I wouldn't think that it would be such a big deal, but it is surprisingly a big deal, in my opinion, for, you know, just getting back into areas. Another thing you'll see, so these are two bullet enemies. The one that's shaped like a normal bullet fires normal bullets. The one that's fired like shaped like a buckshot thing fires buckshot things. And, I mean, there's a lot of variety in that sort of thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, that did not go well. Yeah, we're in trouble here. So let's go and get a little cover. There you go. You get to see how that works out here. And like I said, not going to play the game well, just going to play the game. Alright, so we'll reload, and then as I push the table into the shop. So here we have a shop. There are some other things you'll see in the game. There are chests that will have unlocks, and we can use keys for that. We can shoot open the chest, but we're probably going to get nothing or just junk, although sometimes you can get things. So this is going to be random what we're going to have here. So we have some, you know, hearts, which are bullets, some armor. We have 2 different guns that we can possibly get. Interesting. And then some more blanks that we can trigger again to clear the screen. So we have 19 money right now. So what I might do is jump ahead a little bit until I have some more guns or whatever unlocked, and I might jump around a little bit just so you guys can see a little bit more and see me play this game badly and see what it has to offer. Alright, so let's jump back in. I used the one key I start with in order to open this chest, and I got this gun. Like I said, there's a lot of enemy variety. There's a lot of gun variety. I haven't seen this before in my admittedly limited time playing with it. So, the Mur shotgun. Okay. Alright, yeah. So there's all kinds of cool things. I thought about going through and showing as many, you know, just showing little snips of a bunch of different weapons. But then I decided to not really show off a lot of weapons and let you guys kind of discover that for yourselves if you decide to play the game. So let's go ahead straight forward here and see what else there is to uncover. Because, like I said, there is a lot of stuff going on. Alright, anyone else in here? No. So let's reload. And I have already come across some rather interesting, I'll just say, weapons. Interesting. So this has like an effect that we see on the ground. So here, we'll show off kind of the dodge roll a little bit, not that I needed to there. There we go. Alright, is that everybody? Nope, more enemies coming in. Alright. Alright, so let's see if we can take care of these guys. Okay. Thought that guy was dead. There we go. Alright, so that's everybody. Hey, we didn't take any damage in that room. So, interesting that this will actually leave water on the floor. That's pretty cool. And like I said, a lot of these guns do really different effects, I'll say. They've been creative with this. And it's not just like a Borderlands creative where we have 8 million guns that have slightly different stats, but really, truly creative. Don't get me wrong, I liked Borderlands, but I almost thought they had too many guns in that game and not enough interesting guns, if you know what I mean. Alright, well like I said, there's a lot of variety in this game, so I just unlocked this item here that, I haven't seen this before, so I have this ring that, he gets excited whenever you use an active item and a blank also goes off. Yeah, we won't talk too much about that. We'll just say what it does. So I have this little guy that follows me around. Now, right now the active item I have is kind of a one-time use thing, so that's not necessarily great, but, you know, we'll definitely keep that passive ability. So let's go ahead and use that teleport thing I was talking about and move on. Alright, like I said, I may jump to a different point, just show off another gun or two, as we haven't really shown off a lot of that. But here we see one of the several bosses you could fight at the end of the first level, in the Lead Throne Bullet King. So, he's pretty cool. I don't like him nearly as much as the animation you get for Gatling Gun. Oh my gosh. What was I doing? Alright, well I decided to jump ahead to the end of that battle because I played terribly and I didn't want you to see it. So let's go ahead and reload our mermaid gun. I accidentally called in an ammo drop, which set off a blank. The blanks do kind of reset when you get past levels. So let's see what we got here. We got another half part, we got some of that, and is this what I think it is? Huh. Molotov launcher, exactly what you think. We probably don't even need to look at the Ammonomicon. Launches Molotovs. It's near. Okay, removes the arm pain. Great. So why don't we go ahead and jump down just to the next level so you can go ahead and see this a little bit. I think that'll give you a little bit of a good idea of how the game plays. If you already like games like Isaac and Nuclear Throne, this is probably one you'll like. It has some differences. If you're tired of those games, I don't know if it's going to offer you enough difference with the different theme, with the dodge roll, and with... Wow! That is awesome. I heart this gun. Alright, well, I figured that giving you a little taste of that gun, giving you just a little example of some of the variety in the game would probably be enough without ruining much of stuff. Like I said, there are different characters. There are other things that I've seen people unlock in videos or streams or whatever. Cool things I don't really want to give away. But basically, the gameplay is solid. You can play your preferred way with a mouse or keyboard. Either way is fine. And, you know, if you like the graphic stuff, you like that sort of, you know, difficult gameplay that, you know, has little secrets and things as you go, and it's definitely a challenge, then this is a game I can pretty highly recommend. If you, if you want a game that you can play through in a you know, main story arc and all this may not be for you. You know, if you haven't played Isaac or those things, they haven't looked interesting to you, this probably isn't going to interest you all that much either. But as someone who has never played those games, I still enjoy this quite a bit as something to jump into, do a run or two, get killed, and, well, I don't think you have to be good at it to enjoy it. I do think if you want to get a lot of long-term enjoyment out of the game, it's probably something that you're going to want to spend a little bit of time with and get better at so you can eventually get further. I'll just show off another class here real quick. This isn't really spoiling anything. These are all things you start with. So this class is interesting because they actually start with 2 weapons, kind of a regular shooter, and then this thing that, you know, only fires 1 shot and has to reload, but is pretty powerful. And they have a faithful companion that, you know, might give you little bonuses here or there, find stuff for you or whatnot. Not really help you in combat, but find some stuff for you. So I do feel like there. So yeah, here you can kind of see this one of the two starting weapons that again fires slowly, but does a lot of damage. Overall, if you enjoyed Isaac Nuclear Drone, I think you'll enjoy this unless you're just tired of that sort of gameplay. If you haven't, if you didn't enjoy those, you're probably not going to enjoy those if you're like me and never actually played those games. This is one I enjoy. Even though I'm bad at it and don't tend to get very far. I think in order to get long-term enjoyment out of it, though, I would definitely have to invest some time and get good, as they say, at the game. And I'm definitely not at that point yet. But I could see, if I was willing to spend some time with this game, really enjoying it. If you enjoy the style of gameplay, though, I feel like this is a solid game, solid controls, I think an interesting art style, and a theme that works way better than I thought it would. When I heard about this game, I was worried about its theme. You see the enemies there actually flipped over a table and they're using it for cover. There, they just did again too. So I actually ended up enjoying the theme way more than I thought I would. I think they've done a good job with it. And you will definitely see some interesting guns, interesting items, and interesting enemies as you progress through the game. So there's my thoughts. It's not going to change your mind if you don't like this kind of shooter roguelite style gameplay. If you do, this game's pretty solid, and unless you're super tired of that, then I can definitely recommend it. It is currently $15 on Steam. Actually, it's on sale, a little bit off initially for the first couple of days upon release, I believe. And you can check it out if you want. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll be back with more soon.